Yo, what's up guys, welcome back. So, we just got the ban list, right? And the TCG wasn't able to test out too much today because it was like revealed, it was at 8 p.m. Our time, so that's kinda late. But it felt like an awkward list, right? Like the building up throughout the weekend, Master Duel, etc. So I think most people were expecting like a huge list, including myself. And we got somewhat of a big list and taken pretty much the best deck. I think everyone, saw the list with, looking at Snake Eyes first, right? With Ash 2-1, Poplar 2-1. I think expected. But on the other hand, I think both Apo and Beatrice were also expected, especially after our previous list with, Burl, Savage, and Baron. I don't think people expected Lacrima to get hit. Built-in burn damage, obviously, Reborn, get back something from graveyard, crazy card. It does a lot. But then again, like if you look at the list, this is the current list post-ban list, right? So again, September 2024. For the TCG, you don't see that many changes. It didn't really do that much. If you take a look at the OCG, very similar hits, right? Like the Fiendsmith package, I think it's still at full force. You have Ash at 1, I believe they do have multiple Poplar. But then again, like we have triple Bonfire and triple Wanted, and the OCG has one Wanted, if I'm not mistaken, plus triple Witch still. So fetching, or working towards a potential Snake Eyes Edge is still there. It's still super easy, but maybe a bit more weak to, I guess, vomiting hand traps to your opponent or throwing hand traps to their particular field. So it does hinder the consistency a little bit, especially with Beatrice not even, being able to send something to the graveyard and then Promethean Princess to reborn it. But this is the current list, and it seems that, even though it's super early format, that stuff like Nibiru is super strong, especially with Apo gone. Combo decks most of the time rely on something like Apo to put it up on field to prevent them from getting nipped. But that's where the Fiendsmith package comes into play. Sure, the rank 6 cards currently aren't that, well, they are okay. They lost Beatrice. Beatrice should have been banned years ago. But we still have Caesar. Caesar is a very powerful card to potentially negate Nip. So basically any combo deck, because again, Fiendsmith engine is untouched, like super expensive engine, so it was kind of expected that they would not go after Fiendsmith just yet. Maybe, the Fabled Lurie. But they left it untouched. So I think this is super straightforward. You'll see in a few combos, in a few moments, that the deck can still pump out basically the same boards. I'm still on Bestials, I guess. Bestials are still super strong in the current format against basically any deck, looking at Fiendsmith package, looking at Yugioh, and so on, right? Same for Ghost Ogre might be, maybe a 2 of 3 might be a bit too much. Again, depends on the format. But other cards that I might looking forward to potentially main deck, looking at Thrust, I mean, Birch. I've seen people main decking or want to main deck Birch in, Snake Eyes post-ban list. Maybe a second Oak. More Bestials. Are you really want to, do you really want to go for Lebellion? But maybe a second Flame Birch. And speaking of Flame Birch, both Flame Birch and Original Sinful Spoils are not banned. And if I would have done a ban list prediction, both of them would have been there. Original Sinful Spoils and Flame Birch, right? Droll maybe, again depending on the format. Typhon, extra deck. Extra deck is still super tight, but the Typhon might be needed in there as well. But other than that, the Silhouette is your end piece. Still, you're making that brick, what is it, Azarune, monster summon negation, I guess, plus pop if your Silhouette Rabbit is still face up on the field. So again, crazy card. It does come with a price of you having a potential brick in your main deck, but again, it's still super consistent. It's still probably just one of the best decks. Same for Tenpai and Yubel, basically. So let's see what this deck does. Alright, just first example, right? Again, these things aren't really new. Snake Eyes did this before the ban list, right? But at a more consistent rate. So we are still on Fiendsmith. You're going for Fiendsmith first. Check if if they have any potential hand traps, if they have Nip. If they don't have any form of interruption, you can definitely go for Caesar, potential Nip. If they have like Imperm / Failure and Nip, you're screwed either way. So you're going for Caesar first, again, potential Nip, because again, there is no Apo anymore. So that brings us with Celine. Are you still, these two you still want to main deck Celine? I'm not so sure. So again, feel free to leave your opinion about that. So anyway, I think, you know, this is pretty straightforward. You have your, you know, the link to going for the Desiree for Omni Negation during both players' turns to potentially shut down your own Promethean Princess, right? Masquerina in the Spell and Trap card zone, and potentially ending on Silhouette plus the trap. So what is it? You have double monster effect negation, you have a Spell and Trap card pop, you have the summon negation in the form of a trap card, you have Masquerina plus Little Knight during their turn, and an Omni, potential double Omni negation during their turn with the fusion. So still crazy, no? Like still crazy, even though it's okay. It's a little less consistent, with, you know, 2 less Snake, less Ash and 2 less Poplar. But you know, your full Snake Eyes engine is basically still there: Bonfire, the Diablo Star Witch, and so on. So one example again, going first. Standard, I guess, getting nipped. Okay, that's a small downside. Like your standard, I guess, Fiendsmith combo of summon number 5 goes for Caesar. But, you know, with like Necro Crypt, more Fiends for potential Desiree later in the turn, you know, you're forcing out Nip probably either way if you don't have, at least if they don't have like Imperm or Veiler. With Nip, that is. So this is fine. Another interruption, like 3 hand traps, that would have been a problem. But, I mean, 3 hand traps, what deck can play around it? There are decks, you know what I mean. So, fairly the same board, right? You have Desiree on field, you can go for Flame Verge. This time I am able to just leave Masquerina on field because of the Hita before. And we can put the Nip in their Spell and Trap card zone to potentially, I guess, special summon it to my field later. If it's needed during their turn, but again, I don't think I have space. So during the draw phase, use Ash on the Wanted, not giving them the potential Diablo Star Search. The Fiendsmith package is fine, we can just eventually banish the Lurdy. I mean, there are options, you can go for Promethean Princess as well, but that blocks the Masquerina play, right, for Little Knight. So yeah, Oak getting back the Snake Eyes Ash potentially for next turn. Why is Flame Verge Dragon not banned? Original Sinful Spoils should have been banned, but I mean the Azamina cards are coming in the OCG as well, and Original Sinful Spoils is a superb card, a super crucial card for that strategy. So yeah, that's it. I think a super straightforward deck. The one card that I'm probably just, at least I want to try to fit in is Draw on Lockbird. But again, it depends a little bit, but it feels that it's going to be a super powerful hand trap. But this deck can still play like, what is it, almost under 20 hand traps. Sure, you're sacrificing a little bit consistency with double, you know, Poplar or double Ash less. But it's still definitely a contender, and you know there are cards that you can capitalize on, that you just potentially recover from the potential ban list hits. So feel free to leave opinions, suggestions. Okay, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching. Feel free to leave a comment or like if you enjoyed the video. Medium signing out. Peace.